You're actually known in part, maybe you can correct me, but to do pretty unexpected, surprising, kind of interesting casting. So Robert De Niro is an example of that, and that's just a great role. The second aspect of that, I heard the story that you can just get an actor in and out in just a few days, really fast. The Robert Rodriguez experience, as they call it. How do you make that happen? Like, can you just tell the
Well,
story of
I'm the
Robert De Niro?
editor, I'm the cameraman, I'm the DP. And so when I call them and say, I've got you as the villain in this whole movie, but I swear I'm gonna shoot you out in 4 days. You come down in 4 days. In fact, there's a scene where he's in the hospital. He's just smiling. He's having such a good time because he couldn't believe it. I said, guess what? When you wake up from your hotel room at the Stephen F. Austin, you just cross the hallway. That's the set. The room next to yours, we turned into the hospital set. So you're just going to come laying there in your pajamas.
Really? That's what you
Well,
did?
yeah, we had to save time. We only have 4 days. So everything had to be very thought out to be like, boom, boom, boom. Let's shoot the money, get him out of this. We don't have to spend a lot of money on him.
Book a room in a hotel, set up to look like a hospital room.
Yeah, that's our set. And it's real. You don't have to dress it. And it's just right there. All you do is put like a little tube there, like for his IV, and then you have a couple of nurses, and it looks like
You're
a
genius.
hospital.
With Robert De Niro.
Resourceful.
Next door.
But I said, you're going to think about me when you're on your next Meet the Fockers movie, and you're on there for 6 months where they have you sitting in a trailer. I don't like to do that. So, I gave Lady Gaga her first 2 movies because after Machete, she said publicly, I saw Machete and my song Americano should have been in Machete. I thought, she saw Machete.
Yeah.
So I called her up and I said, hey, I'm making a sequel and I would certainly use your music, but have you ever thought about acting? Because you're an amazing performer. I think I've worked with a lot of actors who are also musicians and they're always great because I already know how to be a persona, be on stage, be in front of a bunch of people, which most actors can't do. And she said, actually, I studied acting before I became a singer. So, well, you'll never be able to be in a movie because you know what? They don't know how to shoot people out. They want 6 months of your time and you're always on tour. But if you come be here, I have a part for you. I can shoot you out in half a day. This whole section of a movie and I'll shoot your movie poster.
It's incredible.
She's like, okay. So she shows up. I had all the sets like a conveyor belt right next to each other. Shoot, 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 shoot. She's in the car. That's why she had me do her music video for Rain on Me later. She said, we should just go to Austin. Robert, put me on a green screen. I was throughout that whole movie. I don't know how we did that. It was half a day. She was there half a day. I did the same for Sin City too. I was like, I have a set here waiting for you. If you're on tour in Houston, just drive into Austin. I'll shoot you out in half a day. You get to be in a scene with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Sure. She came down.
So wait, how do you take Robert De Niro? How do you take Lady Gaga and like solve the puzzle of all the scenes they have to be in? How do we shoot them quickly, efficiently, conveniently?
You have to edit your own movie. I have this analogy, a food analogy that works really well. Script is like your grocery list. Filming is like grocery shopping. Getting the best performances, getting the best beat, getting the best ingredients, right? Editing is like the cooking. Too much of this and not enough of that, you fuck the whole thing up. So many filmmakers do not edit.
Yeah.
And they give it to some other guy who might look at all your ingredients and go, well, this is all great, but I'm going to go make a fucking souffle.
Yeah.
And he makes something else. So by doing that job, I mean, like I've worked on some big stuff and I realized finally after many years, because I've always edited, I realized this is why movies cost so much. There could be 150, 200 people on the crew. And I swear not one of them knows how to edit. Not one. So they're getting the wrong stuff. They're having to reshoot shit. The editor is in a room somewhere, useless, calling after the fact. We still need to get this close up. Or you got to reshoot that because it doesn't match. Because no one knows editing. So if you just know that, you're already miles ahead of 99% of Hollywood. But that's just how I learned by accident. So I kind of stumbled upon it. But, and I realized that's what the problem is. Because across the board, I'm watching them going, that's not going to match. You guys are just spending money, sending crews out, shooting stuff for this. It's a clusterfuck. Let me show you. And that's how it's Sin City, Bruce Willis, 9 days.
Whoa.
Brittany Murphy's in all 3 stories, 1 day. Benicio del Toro, 3 days. It's just like you're just shooting their stuff. Mickey Rourke is in a sequence with Rutger Hauer. We shot 8 months apart. I didn't have Rutger Hauer till I was doing Shark Boy and Lava Girl. So I just shot Mickey acting with me and then I shot Rutger acting with me and then I just cut them together.
Wow.
What's weird is like editing exercises or like I used to do these editing exercises where I would do my VCRs together and I would cut my movies, but sometimes I would just cut a music video. And I cut a music video once because I was a big fan of Rutger Hauer and a big fan of Mickey Rourke. So I said, I want to make it look like they're in a movie together. So I cut this music video together, and so it shows like lightning on Rutger in the Hitcher and then lightning on Mickey from Rumblefish. But Rumblefish is black and white.
Mhm.
So I made the whole thing black and white. I was like 19. I was 19 years old when I did that.
Wow.
And then years later, I'm making Sin City. I shot Mickey not knowing who the other actor was going to be until I cast him 8 months later, and it was Rutger. I'm cutting them together to look like they're in the same movie, and it's in black and white. And I'm like, I've done this before. I've done this before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I found that old video. It's like, oh my God, I already made a movie of them in black and white. That's some weird shit, right?
Yeah.
That's the magic of creativity. It's like sometimes when you have a vision, it's not clear, but it's coming to you from the future. So you got to just follow the voice. No matter what anyone says about your curtains, just follow the voice you got in your head because you don't know and you're not smart enough to know. And you don't need to know. You just need to do. You just need to be the hands. So this is like what you can do with no time or money when you know all those jobs. It's the benefit of knowing those jobs. Like I said, the more you know those jobs, the more you know your main job, which is being creative, but on the day thinking on your feet. So I'm going to show you this test. Okay, so for Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series, I would always shoot the first episode and the last episode of like a 7 or 8 episode season. There's 3 seasons. By the time we got to the 3rd season, I was doing Alita, so I couldn't do the big finale episode. And my actor who plays the George Clooney character, DJ Catrona, he's somebody who fucking wanted to be a writer, was writing. He wrote Fight and Flight, is this movie that's going to come out with Josh Hartnett. That's his. He wrote it. And after doing this, he was like, man, hearing you talk, you know what? This is what I love about you inspire people. The feedback loop inspires you back. He said, man, hearing your talk for Red 11 and the cards and I've got a script that's partially written. I'm going to go crank it out in 3 days. I'm going to cut off the phone in 3 days. I'm going to finish that thing in 3 fucking days. And he came back and he
Fuck
said, I
yeah.
finished the script. And I read it and I go, when you read it in 3 days? And go, well, I wrote some of it before, but I just kept thinking I wasn't ready. And then you told me the thing about not being ready. And you said that really resonated. I went and I finished it in 3 days. I go, man, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go do the DJ method. I call it the DJ method. I have a bunch of half-baked ideas that I'm just going to go turn off the phone and finish the thing in 3 days. And I'll fix it later, but those 3 days, it's going to be pure pipe. It's just going to be coming through because you're just going to be picking up the pen. So anyway, he came to me with this idea. He said, oh man, I was hoping you'd do the last episode of Dusk Till Dawn because I had this great idea for a scene. We're in a zombie town, Western town. We have those guns where you have to pull the trigger, the hammer back before you can fire. So I thought, what if I have a gun that's empty and I got bullets in the other hand and I bump into a zombie, the bullets go flying. I jump and I catch all the bullets and shoot the guy before I hit the ground.
Mhm.
Okay, that's kind of like a real cool, like Desperado type thing. But dude, this is a 7-day shoot for these episodes. Everyone on the crew will have a different idea on how to do that. Stunt guy will put you on wires because you have to do all that action, or the DP isn't even operating the camera. It's a camera guy. The director doesn't know how to shoot. He's not operating the camera. Your editor's in a room somewhere. VFX guys aren't there. So you're not going to be able to ask them how to do it. But I, in my own VFX, I came up with how we did all the shots in Sin City and all those spiking movies. We need one guy to come do it. I'll come do it for you. I'll come do it because I'm already going to be there because I have to shoot a second unit fight scene for the other actor who wanted a cool fight scene. So I was already doing that. When it comes to your scene, we'll switch places because it's got to be done quick because you got to shoot it in 20 minutes because you got a ton of other shit you got to shoot and you'll just never get it. You won't even get it in a film schedule, in a regular movie schedule. It's just too crazy. You need somebody with a vision to do the whole thing. So this is what it would look like if you're on the set. I'm going to show you the footage and I'm going to show you the scene. I have to show it to you a couple of times because you're not going to believe what you're about to see. So if you were on the set, this is what it would look like. So I get there. They said, we're ready for that scene. So I get over there to the set and I go, okay, where are you coming out of? And he goes, this building. Where are you getting the bullets from? That body. Okay, bring that body closer. Okay, stunt guy, bring a pad over. I want to see you just jump and start to twist as if you're turning. I just want to see how much airtime you can get to get any action done before you hit the pad. He starts to jump. He barely starts jumping. He's already hitting the pad. So I was like, okay, that ain't going to work. You get out of here. DJ, you're going to do it. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. I hadn't thought about it before, but now you're
This
there.
is so awesome.
And now the options are very limited.
Yeah.
You're very limited. Look at the sun. You're going to see the sun not move. You see, that's the point where the sun starts getting lost. I have to shoot this in 20 minutes. You're going to do 3 jumps, and I'm going to cut it to look like 1 jump. All the bullets are going to miss. Only one's going to go in. So here, just follow what I'm saying because we don't have time. What cameras do we have? What's on the A camera? A long lens. Oh yeah, that's my camera. I'll operate that. What's on the B camera? Steady cam. Leave it on steady cam. No chance. No time to convert it. At one point, I wanted to lower it. So just flip it upside down. We'll flop it later. Give me the main camera. Okay, DJ, start running towards that bullets and grab it and pretend like it gets shot out of your hand. I shoot it in slow motion, but I'm showing you how it would look on the set. Okay, now the bullets are flying. I'm going to add those digitally. And I'm going to hold the bullets up to the light in each angle so that they know what it's supposed to look like, so they can match that. Otherwise, it'll look phony. Now, first jump. I just want you to commit to just jumping out and just look at the barrel. Just look at the barrel on your hands when you're jumping, because that'll look like you're looking at the bullets. And just don't even think about that you're going to catch a bullet. Don't think about that you're going to start turning. Just stretch your body out. Get a really graphic look. Look how cool that looks.
Yeah.
And then the side view, shot this at the same time. You can already tell it's going to look like bullets are missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I need this part though. I need the part where he's catching the bullet. This little window there.
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to do that? With a lens that long, it's going to be all out of focus. It's not going to be slow motion enough. He even knows me and he's like, what the hell am I doing? So just lay on the pad and rock up and down. And as you're coming down, that'll look like you're falling as I'm zooming in. Because I'm operating the camera and I'm cutting this in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, just do it again. He's like, what is it? Rock up. And then as you go down, it's going to look like you're falling.
Well
make it look like the bullets. Okay.
Well
so now
done.
You've caught a bullet. One went in. Now, second jump. When you do the next jump, as if we just passed those other moments, you've caught a bullet already. So now you're going to snap it closed and start your turn. It's all you'll get before you hit the pad. Snap, turn, right? So like, okay, I want the cameras to feel like they're dropping with them. That'll give you more of the sensation. So let's actually lower that steady cam shot, flip it upside down and get a low angle. See how, look at the sun's right there. Hasn't gone behind the building yet. That, and then my camera, I lowered my camera down and I got that. Angle. Right? Okay. Now, last jump, I bury a thin. I said, just bring me a thin mattress because I want him to do all the stunts. I don't want a stunt guy because he does this himself. He just did it in 3 jumps. But the audience will know. They'll just be like, we believe that this guy can do anything. I want you just to finish by turning and cocking the hammer back and firing before you hit the ground. I'll give you 2 takes for that. Almost gets it there. And then we do a second take. Boom, down. The other one was probably a little better, even though you don't really see it. I've got to go do everything now. I got to cut it. I got to add the sound effects myself. I got to put the music in myself because music guys would just end up filling it with music and ruin it. Yeah. Sound effects guys would just fill it full of sound effects and ruin it. I want all the sound to drop out. So as he's jumping, all you hear is the wind in his jacket, the clinking of the bullets as they're bouncing off. So you have this breathless moment. No music. Cut the music. And that moment you cut it. So that you're like, I wonder if he's going to make it. Right. So I go home, I cut it. Before I even have the visual effects in, I just cut it that night because I cut my own sound effects. I cut my sound effects in. You can already tell it's going to work. You can already see, even with the bullets not there, you can tell by the sound where they're going to be. It's going to work. I call them up and say, dude, this is going to work great. So then I go to the effects guys and I go, okay, there's the bullet in this frame. And the next frame it's here because I used to animate. In the next frame it's there. And then it hits the barrel and then it starts bouncing this way. I want it that clear so we can follow that a bullet was supposed to go in and that it bounced way over there. And then this bullet bounced way over there. And they send it back and a bunch of bullets come down. No, guys, listen to what I say. I'm going to show you again. I'm going to draw it to you again. Just the sound will play like there's multiple bullets flying. I don't need to see all those bullets or the eye's not going to know where to go. So then they got it right.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And then check this out. I'm going to show it to you twice because you're not going to believe it.
Wow.
Changes direction.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy.
Well done.
You don't even see that in a feature film, much less a TV show.
Just as a director, well done.
Oh, thank you. Here, just one more time, and then I'll show you something you didn't notice both times.
That's amazing. Just those decisions coming together
all
perfectly,
coming
just
together,
really well done.
and like this, you got minutes.
Just, moving the camera like you decided to do
Yeah.
really worked really well, the balancing of the mattress,
And
whatever,
it's
that
not like you
worked
have
well.
this whole plan figured out ahead. You're literally in the moment. It's coming through
But
you.
you're
It's
seeing
coming
it
through
though,
you.
right, in your
I'm
head?
seeing it because I've done it enough. That's
Yeah.
why you really want to learn all those jobs because you comes to a moment like this when the shit's fucking hitting the fan. You got to know how to pull it out. You could have gotten all those people together and they never would have figured that out. You had one person had to see it all the way through.
You're seeing the bullet, how it's gonna go in the result.
I've done enough times to know that if you don't do it just right, you're gonna lose the image. You're not gonna know where to follow, and you'll miss the point.
And also, yeah, I love that you're thinking about where the eyes of the audience will go, and that's like you like I feel like too many people might think about some more general concept of a scene versus like the audience, where's their
Where's
eye?
their eye? Well, you're drawing it through sound, through picture. I'm gonna show you. If you notice, without the sound, you don't really see him click
Yeah,
that thing
right.
back.
The sound is so essential here,
Watch
right?
this. You don't really.
Right. I thought I saw it.
You think you saw it, but you hear it, and so you feel like see it. But watch, it's actually he's already finished. You don't really see him do it, but you swear you saw it in a close up because the sound is in a close up. I put the
Yeah.
sound in a close up. Now here's another thing you didn't notice. He hits this ground in the first shot. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You didn't even notice it because I didn't play the sound there.
Hmm.
So if you don't hear it, you don't see it. And if you don't see it, but you play a sound, you hear it, then you see it in your mind, right? So check that out now with the sound on, and you'll see both those parts play completely different now. Right. Now you hear it. Right. See, like I know you can get away with that because I know editing and I like if I don't play a sound, I can go ahead and milk that shot as long as I want. I'll make him be in the air longer, even though he's actually touching the ground by not playing the sound. And that comes from you said directing, but it's not directing like
Hmm.
people can direct and say, this is what I want. But to actually execute it, you need to be a craftsman. And to be a craftsman, you have to learn all those crafts.
And not just with the visuals, but with the sound. I
With the
mean,
sound too.
sound
Sound is so important. Sound is half the picture. Sound, and if you cut sound, you realize how important sound is. I would learn so much by doing those movies like Desperado, action movies where you go, wow, the sound, I can add an extra sound effect of an extra punch he didn't even throw. And it sounds like he's beating the shit out of this guy. And you only need to see 1 or 2 hits and you can hear 5. You know where you can push your limits because you've done it. You've done it and you've got the
Mhm.
experience.
It's so amazing that you can use sound to make a person believe they saw something that wasn't
Yeah.
actually there on the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah. Your brain fills it in.
That's crazy.
And that's why that's so important because if you don't know that, you'll be on the set shooting 10 takes of that. Because you're like, no, he didn't. No, I didn't see him click it back. He didn't see. I didn't see him click it back. That's really needed. I can do that with sound. Let's just go. Let's just keep moving.
When you say sound close up, was that so? Like,
So the
is that
sound, all the other sound dropped away, and all you hear is like the sound, like the mic's right on that
yeah?
thing, so that you hear it so big in your ear that you swear it was in close up too, but just the sound was close up.
How do you? Sorry, just to give an insight into like that process of sound design. What are you like listening to the sound and just like experiencing the feeling that creates, and then you're like, that's
I'm
just right.
playing in post a lot. So I have a whole library of sound effects from all my
Yeah.
movies. So I can pull up like the gun sound we created for Bruce Willis in Sin City and use that and mix it with Antonio's gun from Desperado. I remember in 4 Rooms, there's a scene where the bellhop goes into the hotel room, jams his key into it and clicks it. And I used all gun sounds for the sound of the key instead of key sounds because it wasn't sound close up enough. So if you listen to it, you hear like
Mhm.
all these sounds from gun to do the key because it's like that conveys the sound better. I'll use different kinds of sounds that just have impact and put it somewhere like when he hits the ground or so I like playing with all that in post when I'm editing because it makes my editing job easier. Sometimes it's like, oh, the sound is covering me. I don't need to keep trying to massage this. The sound is actually selling it. And so I keep those sound effects into the final movie. So it's just all part necessary. It's like being a chef. You're there cooking and you're going like, I know the recipe says this, but I think it really could use jalapenos and some extra pepper and maybe a little more salt. And then it needs an acid of some kind. So I'm going to add some lemon juice.
Yeah, you made me realize. I'm not sure where I saw that, but you were talking about making sort of almost like home films for fun, and I think you mentioned how exciting you can make a very mundane scene by just adding sound
No, yeah.
correctly. I think there was like
My
a
little kid with his car, he
yeah.
had one of those little zzz, but I added a motor sound to it, and it's like,
And it
wow.
sounds realistic somehow. Like, I don't
And
understand
then
what my brain is doing
and
there.
then we're playing with these little cars, filming ourselves playing with the cars. But then I replace it with real car sounds.
Yeah.
And it just
Yeah.
your brain
It's
links the
crazy.
reality of the real
It's
thing, and
crazy.
you realize how unimportant the visual is and how important the sound is, actually. Sound is everything. That's what I was really lucky in Mariachi, that my camera didn't work for sound, because then I got really good sound that I would have gotten with a shitty mic out of frame, because that's the first telltale sign of a low budget movie is bad sound. Bad sound right away. You can already hear all this hiss and all this.
Mhm.
Mic was too far, and you're like, low budget movie. Before your eyes even tell you, the sound gives it away. Isn't that amazing?
The audio is first. Sound is
Yeah.
first, really, even though it's a visual medium. That's so crazy.